Hey everyone, are you ready for today's video?
We're taking you on an adventure to the Galapagos Islands.
The Galapagos Islands are located more than 1,300 kilometers off the coast of mainland Ecuador in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. These volcanic islands are among the most isolated places on Earth, and the best way to see them is by expedition cruise.
We joined HX Hurtigruten Expeditions on their In Darwin's Footsteps cruise, and we're going to share everything you can expect to see and do on a Galapagos cruise.
We spent 6 days cruising the eastern portion of the Galapagos on the Santa Cruz II.
And it was really great because we got to see portions of the island that really focus on tortoises as well as marine life under the water.
Days are quite busy and you have a lot to see, so be prepared. You're going to be up early, going out on Panga rides, and then you're going to come back, have your lunch, and head out again and do some other activities.
Other than the Panga rides and getting off, you can also do kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding, and obviously snorkeling. There's also a glass bottom boat for those who don't want to get in the water but still discover what is underneath the surface.
We're snorkeling in the Galapagos and it is spectacular. Eagle rays, giant turtles, playing with sea lions. Amazing, clear water, incredible.
They're blowing bubbles in your face. It's so cute.
If there is one place on Earth you should go snorkeling, it is in the Galapagos Islands. Because the marine life does not have a fear of humans, they are very curious and playful. The Galapagos Islands are a UNESCO marine biosphere, so marine life is plentiful, and we had the chance to go snorkeling 5 different times on our Galapagos cruise.
Yeah, and then you also get great views and get to swim with green sea turtles, as well as we saw spotted rays, colorful fish. Man, the sea life here is just incredible.
All snorkeling gear is provided by Hurtigruten, including masks, fins, snorkels, and wetsuits. You can even wear a life preserver if you don't feel comfortable.
And all of our wetsuits are hung down here. It's where we leave all of our snorkeling gear and our water shoes.
Wetsuits on? Let's go.
We traveled to the snorkeling sites by Panga, and that was a great way to visit off-the-beaten-path destinations that don't see a lot of snorkelers.
Last snorkel of the Galapagos and it was spectacular. We saw 5 sharks.
And for those who didn't go snorkeling, we saw dozens of white-tipped reef sharks right off the side of our boat.
The Galapagos is known for the giant tortoise, and we had many chances to see these beautiful gentle giants in the wild and at breeding centers.
Wow!
There were 15 species of tortoises on the Galapagos, and now there are only 11. However,
They did realize that one is not extinct, so I guess we're up to 12 now.
yeah, so all of the breeding is paying off, obviously. Giant tortoises live well over 100 years old. They can live up to 200 years old. And we saw all stages of their life. And the big ones are just more than 600 pounds.
Yeah.
They're just massive. It's amazing when you stand behind them to really see the scale of how huge they get. When Charles Darwin visited the Galapagos in 1835 aboard the HMS Beagle, he observed the remarkable adaptations of the island species in their specific environments. This experience, along with his studies of the island's finches, mockingbirds, and other endemic species, led him to conceive his theory of natural selection.
And that's one of the really special things about the Galapagos Islands here is you see all these endemic species that you don't see anywhere else in the world. Whether you're on an island where you see the Christmas iguana, where it's just adapted to whatever it eats is what color it takes on, all the way to seeing the blue-footed booby.
The marine iguana,
Yeah.
which is the only iguana that actually can feed underwater.
Yeah, and it is really cool to see all of these animals in one place. So, you know, over our whole time here, we've gotten to see so many different animals. And if you love wildlife, the Galapagos is the place to come.
We are on the island of San Cristobal, and this is the capital of the island and the capital of the Galapagos. There's about 10,000 people that live here. It's very lively. You can actually stay on this island. There's a great walkway here. There's sea lions out on the beach. There's restaurants and bars. So if you can, stay on the island for a little bit and check it out.
Morning!
Santa Cruz!
Being greeted at Santa Cruz.
This tour really had a lot of different aspects. We had a chance to go into the towns and see what local life is like. And then we even got to go into the rural part of the Galapagos because these are inhabited islands. It's really fascinating to go and meet the local people that live here in this very isolated part of the world. We are at a local distillery where they make moonshine here and sugarcane and grow bananas. And they have chickens on trees. They're up in the tree.
We had an amazing time as owner Adriana took us on a tour of his distillery and farm. He even let us try our hand at some of the stations and taste his products.
This was truly one of the most special experiences we had on the Galapagos Islands.
Arriba, abajo, abajo, al centro,
Al centro.
media vueltita, adentro. Ajo! Wow! Right?
That's fiery.
Each day is different on the Galapagos with a combination of snorkeling and water sports and wet landings on remote islands where we followed our expert guides through different terrains as they told us about their lives on the islands as well as sharing their in-depth knowledge of the flora and fauna.
What a beautiful landscape.
There is never a dull moment, and you can make your Galapagos cruise as busy or as relaxing as you wish. Dave and I never wanted to miss a thing, so we participated in everything, with one of our favorite excursions being our daily Panga rides. We went out on Zodiacs in search of wildlife while exploring the island's rugged coasts before landing on a beach for a nature walk.
Wildlife everywhere in the Galapagos. Having the opportunity to explore by land and sea gave us unique perspectives and allowed us to see so much more than you do on a land tour or a large cruise ship.
So after a day looking at tortoises and snorkeling and hiking, it's amazing to come and sit back and relax in the hot tub. And the laundry is right next door, so you can do your laundry and have a hot tub while you wait for it to dry. Not bad.
So what's cool is they keep track of when you go on and off the boat. And the way they do it is with this checkboard here. Basically, you have gray is away and blue is at home. And you move it every time you go on and off the ship so they know where you are.
Life on board a small ship is very relaxed. The small passenger list and more intimate cruise crew make getting to know people really easy.
After returning from our excursions, we enjoyed happy hours and on-deck barbecues, This was followed by science corners, lectures, and presentations. Our evenings ended with a 3-course gourmet dinner complete with wine pairings in the dining room.
Another great thing is that there's water stations everywhere around the ship here, and you can just put your water bottle in there, refill. It even tells you how many bottles have been saved. The ship is small enough that you never feel alone, but large enough to get away from it all. There's a quiet library, media room, sky deck, and panorama deck, as well as a small gym, a bar, and a lounge. One of the things we loved is the ship has an open door policy, so you can visit the bridge to meet the captain and get an insider's guide to how the ship operates. The rooms are spacious, modern, and comfortable with a full bath and large windows. And that was our Galapagos expedition on the Santa Cruz II. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click that bell for notifications because we put out new travel videos every week.
She's come to see us off. Bye-bye.